Makiola, what does that mean? So that's where you put your mind. So I set the stage. I said, my name is immaterial. The wind you will feel will be the death that will kill you. The mountain of bodies that line up are the foes that I have killed. The blood that runs down through them is my river. That is where you got to put your mind. Ultimately, when you get on the field and you're going against an opponent, that's where your mind is, life or death. It's either you or that person. A Olohe fighter in the old days was required to at least take out 3 or 4 of the others before they holla. That's the mindset. A few of us, Tommy, 173rd, Vietnam vet, Kalihua, military active duty, Lions, 82nd Airborne. I went through Special Forces from 65 to 72. So a number of us have military experience above and beyond that. Never saw combat, but I had a lot of fun and games. But Tommy has, others have. So they have made that cross. So there's an old saying, seeing the elephant is for those individuals that have been in a combat situation and survived. They are not the same person that went into battle, nor are they going to be when they come out of battle. So law is many things. A means to protect in time and art, and if you so choose, it is a lifestyle that you choose to live. I've been doing it for about 50 some odd years. Tommy's been doing it for 30, 40 others. So the seriousness of that ultimate thing is to take you back to like 1795 in the Battle of Nu'uanu. So on day 6 of your graduation, you will be against the senior students as they prepare you for that. A lot of them endure the 47 hours just to get to play with you for 3 to 5 minutes. They enjoy an actual exchange in a sham battle. So you've been practicing, you've had spears now thrown at you. So the old saying is, until you get hit in the nose, everything else is theory. So when you get into a situation where you have injured yourself or injured somebody else. So the concept, when you injure somebody else, in the old days, I always use King Arthur. Their knights were the best trained, had the best equipment. The king was also head of the government, so he legalized. He was also head of the church. So that means from what you were trained to do, you had everything that was there. The moral issue of government and the church was all resolved because of the king. So when you then went into combat, you did not have those things as momentary setbacks. If I'm going into combat, what if I kill somebody? Am I justified from the government, morally under the church? I've been taught it's not, all of this. So when you went and you were prepared, and in the old days, military, all men were expected to be in when called to go into combat. Okay, so like I said, so set your mind at Makiola. There's also another term, Molia Ia e Ola, which is to give your life for the other. When you're in a battle formation, the front, the back, the left, and right, you're at a point you're ready to sacrifice your life for those around you, and you expect them to sacrifice their life for you. So this is the type of mindset that was set up in the old days. Okay, we're not there anymore, but this class is to give you some familiarization on what transpired there. So in that process, Scott has shared with you some legitimate weapons that have been in that situation to his family. A lot of what you see here are replicas of those weapons that were used in yesteryear. And in the last 5 minutes of the class, you'll have an opportunity to go through and look at all the weapons. There's a lot of weapons protocol. 1, you should not step over a weapon. 2, you should not take your weapon to where you eat. And never touch anybody's weapon unless you seek permission, unless you kill him. That's another story. You don't need his permission anymore. Women in the past were employed in combat. A lot of times they followed their husbands. And if they got killed, they jumped in and fought. If you read Keiko Hio's book in the Battle of Iao, there were 2 battalions of female archers. So David Kupihea and Charles Ken stated that the archers were the E family, Arahilo, and their job was to kill the non-E. They were the only ones, according to those 2 individuals, that used the bow and arrow. And like I said, I've seen that in Keiko Haupio's, and when they lined up the forces in the Battle of Iao, they tell you the different units that were set up. And other than Ken's and the other writing, that are the only 2. So everybody says they were shooting Olohe, rats. Well, that's a good combat story. The other thing is what they call psyops, or psychological warfare. When Kamehameha went to battle Kauai for the first time, what happened? What was it? The storm, right? But he lost 4,000 men. If you read the guys on Kauai, their stories, those 4,000 people hit the shore and they were killed. That's, if you listen to the oral history. So now if you're Kamehameha going back to Oahu, what story do you tell? I lost 4,000 guys because of the storm, not because I got defeated and accompanying or to attack that. He tried the second time, but in 1803-04, the Uku killed anywhere from 5,000 to 15,000 people. Could have been cholera, bubonic plague, we don't really know, but the estimate was 5,000 to 15,000. And those were the bulk. Between 1802 and 1804, the 4 uncles were dead. Keiko Haupio died in 1784. So if you read any Battle of Nu'uanu and they talk of Keiko Haupio, forget it. He died 11 years beforehand. But the 4 uncles died in 02 and 04. So what was left with Kamehameha II were the sons and other relatives that went on. So much. And Kamehameha's army was the army was larger than the U.S. Army at that time. In the Battle of Nu'uanu, it's estimated Kamehameha had roughly 16,000. Of that, Kaiana had anywhere from 1,200 to 3,000 soldiers. Different stories. They said that Kalani'opu had between 6,000 to 9,000. So if you subtract that, Kamehameha came with a force of about 12,000, depending upon if you go 6 to 9, add 3, there's anywhere from like 9,000 to 12,000 on the other side. I give tours of the Battle of Nu'uanu. I've given that presentation a number of times up at Queen Emma's Summer Palace over the years. But as Wolfgram used to say, that's another story. So let's get back to the weapons, and the body is another weapon. So ali'i, minor, here.
Aloha, Velina mai kako, whanau ali o Pampua, e aha moa, mai makani mai, mai mano mai, pulu mano, aloha.
Aloha.
Zari, I'm here representing the Ohana of Olohe Walker, directly, and my Ohana, Hale Pākau, and the Nui Aikanaka Moko Moko, and the protection of cultural things of the representatives of my family. Aloha.
Yeah.
I don't know what you want to do,
But a lot of things to worry.
but
So,
aloha.
yeah. If you don't know, the chief of war, he was the individual responsible for all the battle and all of the other scenes. So he's
It's a good thing yet. About to see. Tried my best. It was a battle every day with them in there, Hollywood. And then but he was better that someone like myself or Al has asked us there that he wasn't. I want to know part of doing it. Is this something? That's great. 3.5 months to get an agreement to be part of it. But in the end, I was happy I was there because what I seen could have went sideways for us as a people. So I'm a worst critic, but hopefully the world can see us to be the ones that's passed on in our children. We have something for tomorrow. We can see where this goes, but it was all right. But, so you say Jason Momoa gave his word to the fee, and that was super important because if not, it gets personal. Yeah. So
okay.
yeah, and that's not my word. That's why I didn't want to talk to you, but it became my word. Yeah, so I was just raised around these kinds of things. I was just fortunate. Just to be in a family, it's hard to explain. Always one child. He said 6, but he probably can't even remember his first teaching was La'au. For me, as combat and La'au, I can't remember either because that's how young we were. I was my father's oldest son. I had 3 Unakane alive, 3 being raised in one in this house. A lot of them, you don't know where the strength one comes from. You raise number 1, respect. But then you grow up, be a teenager, you can get in your mind, you then become a man, and then you just find yourself in these crazy places in a natural way, non-fake way, like my uncle said. I don't do things for money. But yeah, maybe sometimes you pay us as a people. But I don't know where you want to go.
So who owns these weapons? Here?
Lots of different.
Okay, do we have permission? Okay, so like you said, just want to make sure. So when you get to look at them in battle, the first things you will see are the ma'a, which is a sling stone like this, flying at least 300-400 meters. Then you would see the javelin. In college and all that, I was able to throw the javelin about 200 feet. I did decathlon, pentathlon, all those other fun and games that you do when you're younger. So the ma'a stones, the javelins were going. Then as you keep closing, the pololus were the next things. Your iheis that had already been flying. What you have left is a sturdy ihe of fighting. It's not a javelin, because if you hold a javelin, it'll break. You have to have a sturdy ihe to do that. So normally we take 2, throw them in the air, you hold your third one. We've done that, 100 meters, charging each other, and that's about it. So if you're gonna have 5 or 10 iheis, forget it. Take 2, take a fighting one, and be prepared. After that, then you get into your short weapons, the dagger, the neva. So here is a nice kawila neva. As far as a nice kawila dagger, you can make them out of many different things. There's ahu, from here. There's some specialty weapons that you'll see from Kauai. Once that is done, a few would have a shark tooth weapon. Okay, not everybody carried them. The other thing is you see a stone club that they don't carry into combat. This is more individual, one-on-one situation. And then after all of your close quarter weapons and everything were employed, then it went hand to hand. So what were your weapons? Your head, your fingers, your palms, your knuckles, your knees, your feet, elbows, shoulders, whatever could work. So we're going to go ahead and just show you a few of the hand-to-hand and maybe some of how the weapons were used. So as you're going through, you'll be getting more instructions in Kekawa Moai on the different use of the weapons. But here is just a familiarization with that. So, yeah.
Cover a couple of these
Yeah.
real quick. So, introduction of this. Meki, using certain pieces, well known in Hawaii, different styles and different makes. Both sides would be pointed, could be used broken, could be used to be fed each piece by piece into a body as a deposit or as a breaker. Like the guys trained in depositing this in, breaking off and fighting on. So pretty specific. It can be used as a javelin or whatever, but different types. So just imagine this being broken off piece by piece. So this whole thing being deposited into your aorta line, twisted, pulled, and broken off and left. And then I'll use this to fight on. So I'll make things like that. As you get short popos and EAs and 2 years and whatever. These powers used for different types of close water combatives. Can be put it just about anywhere, but as a good example is like put this into anywhere in your rib cage line and I snap it. So not just putting it into you, empty hand, I'll put it into you, but snap it. Your rib cage. So imagine this entering you, and this is my finish. I spin it and then all the way through, approximately 12 inches, the average man. Keep everything on the side for me now. Leomano, this. They have Niho, Aramo Olelo, left by chiefs. Ulumano, descendant of the sharks. Transferred onto land, put into a weapon. These small powers can be classified in different names depending on the size and the length. Can be used by anyone, but you're trained women for like things like this. Placement is important if you can. Let's say the training that you learn is nothing is a mistake. There are no mistakes in combat. This is what you still call it some pohoa. This can be put into places. Taking out the intestines or right through. Pull out the esophagus so that you don't get the creative different styles of neva. This is a kaane, strangulation cord. Used for striking, taking down beverages, cutting you with, depending on the style of what you use and what you made it with. What this will be of comprehensive weapon, which is also an extension of these ma'a, and same thing, depending on the length, size of stones, distance, what it's made out of, strangulation, leverage, and food, for taking down using leverages and keeping maximize the leverage and weight. And placed in certain places, like a weight, cut you open like on saw.
8th grade Olana.
Yeah, these like pahoa or different types for different things and different whatever, get creative, different pahoas. These decoys and ecoys, short and long distance weapons. I heard in conversation earlier about like the ones for like breaking up canoes, also for catching something and pulling out canoes to you. Used for entanglement. Different techniques, straight trajectory, entanglement to an arm, skipped off the ground, brought into your legs or your center, and brought over you and cinching. Used to be used a lot by like the mood executioners and things like that to strangulate and pretty much combination power, of an owl. So you guys got marlins and flat bills combination powers here. This on the side is taken out right here. So, super fast entries. A little bit different from this guy right here. You guys see it's all like on the side. Still a fast entry. It's gonna saw you open, get in and out. And you also can go in order and take out the intestine on it, pull it out. Once you're not going to out. This is what coming out there. Metal weapon. Off of the street, straight down. With a metal one that you trade coins with. We use a whole technique in the medium. Yeah, same thing, just bigger Leo Mano. And if you guys ever seen some of Kamehameha's Leo Mano, like bigger than this. The Niho is broken, like electrifying. Big. And everybody looks at this. I think we're gonna explain this in some of the empty hands stuff. Maybe I explain it again. These men have those different types, combinations, trajectories or whatever, but stone flows, let's see about that.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you just want to go over it, some of them on you. Yeah, these
No,
a lot of stones, like any stone, don't even look like this, but Hawaiians are different stones that they use in combat. A lot of the weaponry that we see is a low percentage of what we actually use. Some are away, like Uncle's collection. Some still away in family, some way food. Some families holding on to them and still training. But you are the extension of the weapon. You can go anywhere in the world, the story doesn't change. You are the extension of the weapon. They are going to explain that a little bit later.
So, like the stone club, you could go here, rip it up, rip down, take out this, take this out, go up, crash the scapula, hit this, come back down. So I can go into the rib cage, open, smash. There's a number of things you can do with this.
You just can kind of see the use of that. Any stone on the ground.
Like
anything in your waist belt.
Pohoa. Go through the elbows, go through the neck, out, crash the vertebrae, pull out all the jugular carotid, go through over the hip into the heart, go here up into the heart, go down the throat, break the clavicle, go up the rectum, go back through the hollow of the knee. These are just some of the things.
All those beautiful things
that are taught.
Kind of lose you out a little bit
with this.
So like, shed some light on that. What he's talking about sometimes is like, if this is my shoulder, he's gonna actually come through and through my shoulder. After this movement right here, he's gonna go that way and he's gonna rip it up. Yeah. After this movement, when he puts it up, he's gonna come through the neck. And he's gonna call it, he's gonna rip it, pick it up, slowly take it back. Boom, he's gonna go just tear you apart. That's us as a people. Yeah. The world hasn't seen anything. I'm not sold on Chief of War yet because they held us back. Yeah. That's what we're trying to get to. But that's a beauty of it. Yeah.
So, like taking a neva, what we do is like we can go arm, temple, collarbone, hip, base of skull, kidney coming back, groin, elbow, temple, right down here, coccyx, bladder, chin, and it just goes on and on for just that. The other thing, as far as techniques, one of them, if he throws his right, is you just take it over from here, take the head and bury it right there. You don't even worry because you're worried about number 2, number 3, and number 4. So what I do is, okay, what he does is extreme. Okay, one of the ones from here, I can hit the chin, I go in, grab his thing, and hit the side of his head. Blah! Rip out the whole jaw.
Beautiful, huh?
As a means. The other one where we go is we block here, hit this nerve point, take the throat, and then super extend him. And what you do is a back twist. The weakest point in the back is what will go. Okay, feet, ankles, knees here, fingers, wrist here, here, here.
Yeah, sure. If
Yeah.
someone break from my finger, then he's gonna climb right up to my shoulder.
You know, so the old thing is, Ailimaiki, what you will learn is to break from there. I'll go ahead and break this. This is hyperextended. That will break as an example, you know, as one. Why don't you show something? I'll be the dummy. You know,
I don't know, pretty much same thing. For me, especially like men, we're all strong, so we can do whatever. For women, I concentrate on because the hardest form and our softest form, yeah. Combat fighting, LUA, it's duality, Lao Lapao, duality, everything. If we disconnected as a people, then we lost. You know, why? Because we're always connected. Some of us just not disconnected. So we look at the duality of things, you know, we split up in whatever way you guys want to do it, sun, moon, light, whatever. But for me, movement and leverage is super important because when you train women, we gotta maximize all of this. In Hawaiian combat, yeah, those women train for different things. But is one woman at 5'5" gonna go against 1 6'3" guy holding maybe 3 point? Maybe not. It all depends. But a trained woman, like other talking, you say Makeola, like before you enter the combat zone, you're dead already. So understand, like, if this is my line right here, before I step here, I walk into a dead man now. What he and non's the same. So that's Makeola. Yeah. Limakoko. We're coming through. We're gonna give and we're gonna take blood. We're gonna give something. And that's God we like. So when we look at leverages and stuff like that, the first move he did to me, he came around through the side, then he moved through the back, and just boom, bah. It's leverages. Like when we take something to consume through our eye, it's like food. We do not waste. We don't come from that. We're not a wasteful people. So we consume, we eat. We make it part of us, we ingest it, ike papalua. We take it, whatever combination of strikes. If you seen him do that to me, and he's just gonna take my head straight to the ground, but my feet supposed to be there. So my head, if my skull doesn't crack open, I'm 1 through 7. Base of skull, if it's not split, it's quadriplegic, paraplegic. Understand that. Empty hand, weaponry, infused, hit, or taking down. Taking down, it doesn't matter. But what you want to do is ultimately the leverage, because you know, a woman is not going to come to Olohe Walker and then move his arm and go like this and take him to the ground. But something, if a woman came through, took the eye, and she ran it, her leverages, like ultimately, took it, boom, boom, boom. Yeah, hit, took that leverage through him. He's here. So she took the leverage and stepped here. Understand the leverage. It's everything we have. That's what we talk about. So you took every strike accumulated. You got to be a really, really trained person to answer your fast twitch muscles. If not, you are gone. You know, and sometimes even a highly trained guy maybe cannot respond. You don't know until you hit cut. That's your response. So train your mind. If I must say, all of these weapons, that's not weapon, it's an extension of you. First thing you train is this. It's my strongest weapon I was given. My mind. I am the Leomano. I am the extension of this. It's good. I really need it, but paying for it, no. Because I am that. So when you look at extensions and training yourselves, train your mind. Because you gotta know a combat zone. You gotta know depth of threat. And as a woman, you gotta make these decisions. You gotta commit. You know, Tommy used to say something before, like about judgment. You worry about that later. So you commit. Why? Because you never start them. You never make trouble. try to whatever. Know your parameters and your level of threat and treat it as a threat. Know your legalities, there's things to do, things to say within a combat zone if it gets crazy before you move, so people can hear it. A part of law that stands out. We train ourselves to do these things. So train your mind. Commitment, execution, and intent. Intent is super important. So remember that. Like if you're gonna do it, some of us we like training, do all these things, but sometimes like for me it's intent. Like I don't wanna do it because of the intent. You understand? So in training, like some people, even our family and people he's trained, they never learn. Only had two of us in my whole family because everybody was all over the place and the Kupuna knew that. In the end, we're a massive family, only 2 men standing. And we decided we left it up to the other. So commitment, yeah, is one thing. Execution, it's the super important. So I know the men we know that, but women, like you gotta get this tree here. Like think with this class, like good amount of women working here this time, like they feed off of each other, like it's not for everybody, but yeah, you are the weapon. Train yourself so you can become the extension of that for whatever you're carrying on your body or your own diseases. One poke to the eye still work. Double poke to the eye still work. Yeah, certain hits still work. But now you take the eye to the carnoli, and we take the cord. Think like that. You guys no longer poking eyes, taking eyes, taking eyes, taking eyes. Taking eyes, poke. But we taking eyes. We snapping a cord. Yeah. Let him try to fight without one eye. It's bad enough already, you just poke somebody in the eye. The eye is there. It's a line of sight. Women take the eye and only take them. And we keep that skull behind them. Yeah. And run them over. But
So, fight or flight or freeze. Adrenaline, all of those good things. The key is when do you turn off the switch? Once your mind has been convinced, the individual has been compromised, takes your body anywhere from 20 to 60 minutes to return back to where you were prior on average. So anyway, we've gone over time, sorry for that. We're just sharing a little with you, and as things go on, the other instructors will show you more and more with the use of the weapons. But like you said, you guys have 5 minutes to come ahead and look at the weapons. Those people that brought the weapons, you can come up here and you can answer the questions on how you produce them and what area that they're from and stuff. And for the next guys after us, we apologize for going into your time.
Thank you.